White folks owned and controlled nearly everything. They ran the schools and the local government. Blacks who tried to register faced threats, harassment, and loss of their jobs. "That boy ought to go home," one woman said of Lafayette. "He's going to get the white people all stirred up. Then he'll run back to Atlanta and we'll be picking up the pieces." "It's not going to come to a damn thing," a black merchant complained. "Somebody'll get their brains blown out." The Lafayettes discovered that local authorities were listening in on their phone calls. One night, across the street from their apartment, Bernard was brutally assaulted and beaten by two white men. He spent the night in the hospital. When he was released in the morning, he immediately went downtown, a walking advertisement for everyone to see. Eyes all swollen, face bruised, blood all over his shirt. A friend, J.L. Chestnut, Jr., who would eventually become Selma's first black lawyer, urged Lafayette to go home, but he refused. "No way," he said. "This is the symbol we need." He continued to wear that blood-stained shirt for almost a month. His example was seen as a turning point in terms of public sympathy in Selma, said Chestnut. Even the blacks who were most apprehensive about him couldn't help but respect his commitment and courage. Lafayette's reputation in the black community was raised another notch when he went to court to fight his arrest and jailing on a false charge of vagrancy. Sheriff Clark had accused him of begging in public. Since he was gainfully employed by SNCC, had no outstanding debts, and had plenty of cash in his wallet when arrested, the charge was groundless and, after a trial, had to be dropped. Despite the improper arrest, the brutal beating, and constant surveillance, the Lafayettes continued to hold voter clinics. When additional SNCC workers arrived in Selma to join them, a local judge denounced them all as communist agitators. And when they held a protest at the courthouse, holding cardboard placards that read, "Register to vote," and "Register now for freedom now," Sheriff Clark arrested them on the courthouse steps, cheered on by white bystanders shouting, "Get 'em, Big Jim, get 'em." SNCC teamed up with the Dallas County Voters League, and together they planned a mass meeting at Selma's Tabernacle Baptist Church. At first, church officials opposed the meeting. They feared that their church, like many others active in the civil rights movement, would be bombed. But the pastor, Reverend I.L. Anderson, insisted, and the meeting drew a crowd of several hundred people on the evening of May 14, 1963. Speaker after speaker urged the audience to demand their rights by marching to the courthouse and registering to vote. "Someday they will have to open up that ballot box," declared SNCC Executive Secretary James Foreman as the crowd cried, "Amen." Seated in the rear of the church was Sheriff Clark with a bunch of his armed deputies, recording the names of people who attended the meeting and taking notes on everything the speakers said. Other deputies stood by the church door, photographing people as they came in. Clark could not fail to see that the crowd that evening included a large number of teenagers, students at Hudson High, Selma's all-black high school. And SNCC staff members noted that the students were the most vocal and enthusiastic members of the audience. They had been inspired by press coverage of kids their age taking part in sit-ins, freedom rides, and protest marches, and they wanted to be a part of the action. Lafayette visited Hudson High, inviting student volunteers to join his cause. The principal threatened to have him arrested, but the students loved him. A sharp young guy with a thin mustache, he was just 22. Lafayette spoke their language, and as a pioneering freedom rider, who had been arrested several times, he was a celebrity. What Bernard was telling us was like opening a window to an entirely new world, recalled Charles Bonner, who was 16 at the time. "We were totally prepared to take some action against what my friend Cleo and I both saw as tremendous unfairness in the world. So that's what we did.